Cyclone Michaung continues to be our top focus. Let's take a look at these pictures coming in from Chennai as rains continue to lash the city. Cyclone Michaung, which is expected to be a severe cyclonic storm, is going to make landfall across the southern coast of India. Chennai is witnessing gusty winds and heavy rains, which has uprooted trees and left several parts inundated in Chennai. Major roads are witnessing water stagnation in Chennai. Aran Ganathan subway submerged in rainwater, leading to no vehicular movement in this particular area. As the heavy rains continue to lash parts of Chennai, flood-like situation arises at the Ganga Nagar subway. One truck on the way was seen completely submerged in rainwater. Chennai's Ashok Nagar area is also inundated. Cars were seen wading through knee-deep water. Indian Met Department has predicted heavy to very heavy rains in Chennai owing to Cyclone Michaung. In the Perambur Barracks Road area of Chennai, rain continues to put life to standstill. There is in fact knee-deep water on roads, leading to traffic disruption. Vehicles and people were seen wading through knee-deep water. We're getting you up to speed with all the developments from Chennai city and neighbouring areas. A series of reports that have been sent by my colleagues Shilpa and Shibi Mol. We're tracking that story very closely. Let's take a look.
We are currently reporting from outside the Chennai Corporation headquarters, and very interesting and very concerning. In fact, you can see how the Chennai Corporation building itself is flooded. You can see the kind of water levels. Just look at those cars. So you can imagine the kind of water levels that are there at this point in time. And this is the Chennai Corporation headquarters. So you can imagine the rest of the city as well, how flooded it must be. And that is what is the real concern at this point in time. There's just no respite from rains. It's been pounding heavily in Chennai and the neighboring districts of Chennai since last night, and there is of course gusty winds as well, and that is of course is adding to the problem, because the outer bands and the inner bands of the cyclone is just dumping more and more rains in Chennai and its neighboring districts, and that is the reason why we are seeing a flood-like situation here on ground. And of course, at this point in time, officials and everyone in Tamil Nadu are keeping their fingers crossed to ensure that, praying that there's some respite from rain. That is the only prayer at this point in time. As the cyclone is intensifying into a severe cyclone, it's definitely impacting the weather as well, and it will cross the South Andhra Pradesh coast tomorrow. That is what we're being told. But until then, Chennai and its neighboring districts will continue to receive heavy rainfall.
We're getting you all the details of Cyclone Michaung, and let's get you a sense of where is it right now. As far as the cyclonic storm is concerned, it is expected to intensify into a storm in the next 24 hours or so. Here's what the wind speeds in this region over 100 kilometers per hour look like. And this is the Bay of Bengal, where the eye of the storm is. And that's the reason why this entire region here is receiving heavy amount of rainfall. Yes, this landfall of the storm is expected to make, of the cyclone rather, is to be made tomorrow at noon is what is expected in Andhra Pradesh region. The areas affected are Chennai city and many other parts of the city around it, in fact the areas around it, and that's the reason why rainfall has been extremely heavy, as you can see in many of these pictures that have gone completely viral. Take a look at more ground reports that have been sent in.
The situation in Chennai is quite concerning. We are reporting currently from Nandanam. You can see the visuals of waterlogging. Chennai, of course, has been receiving continuous rainfall, that too very heavy rains since last night due to the impact of Cyclone Michaung. Now, this particular cyclone is very close to the Chennai coast as we speak. It's around 110 kilometers away from the Chennai coast, and that, of course, is the reason why the weather, is getting severely impacted in Chennai, not just in Chennai, but in its neighbouring districts as well, such as Chengalpet, Kanchipuram, Tiruvallur, etc. Heavy rains have been pounding these districts since last night with gusty winds, and that of course is creating a lot of issues on ground. Thankfully, the Tamil Nadu government has announced a public holiday today in all these 4 districts, and they've also advised private companies and other establishments to allow their employees to work from home, because you can see the situation for yourself. The kind of situation on ground. Almost all parts of the city are waterlogged. Trees have fallen due to this strong winds. Water has entered homes of people. So all of this is happening, and this is simply not the situation for anyone to come out. And the message that the government wants to send across to the people is that they should stay indoors as much as possible. Come out only if it's absolutely necessary. Extremely heavy rains have been lashing Chennai and its neighbouring districts since last night. This, of course, is due to the impact of Cyclone Michaung. And you can see from the visuals, I'm just going to show you the visuals. We are currently at Ashok Nagar in Chennai. This is one of the residential areas in the city, and you can see how this entire stretch of road is completely waterlogged. And this is the situation across the city, not just in Chennai, but also in its suburbs and its neighbouring districts like Kanchipuram, Tiruvallur, Chengalpet, etc. Now, Cyclone Michaung is bringing a lot of rain to the city. It's dumping huge quantities of rain across the city, and that of course is causing a lot of inconvenience and a lot of trouble. The wind speed also is very, very high. It's very gusty winds as we speak. So several, for instance, the railway services have been suspended. Several, the suburban railway services have been suspended. Several trains from Chennai have been cancelled. So a lot of such measures are being taken. Public holiday has been announced by the Tamil Nadu government in these 4 districts, and the government has also advised private establishments and other offices to instruct their employees to work from home, because today is definitely not a situation where people can venture out, and that is the one advice that's going in from the side of the government, that people should stay indoors as much as possible. Only if it's absolutely necessary they should step out, because the situation is simply it's very, very difficult. So people should stay indoors. That's the one message that the government wants to give to the people of Chennai at this point in time.
Shilpa is live with us once again, joining us from the Chennai Corporation office, giving us a sense really of how the arrangements, essentially how the arrangements have been made, and what are the authorities they're saying about how are they going to handle the situation when the cyclone intensifies and then finally makes a landfall, which is expected tomorrow at noon. Shilpa, give us a sense of the situation and what are the authorities anticipating?
Well, yes, Neha, we are reporting from the Chennai Corporation headquarters, and you can see the kind of situation here. Look at the kind of water, the flooding that has taken place. You can see from the water levels, the car, that particular black car, you can see how it's almost, underwater. That is the kind of situation prevailing on ground. It's not just here at the Ripon building in Chennai, but across the city, there's major flooding. Water has entered homes, and there's, people are facing it very, very difficult, finding it very, very difficult to manage with the situation. And joining me currently is Pradeep John. He's a private weather blogger, and he's someone who's been tracking the cyclone and its impact very, very closely. Pradeep, tell us the one thing that everyone wants to know. We've been receiving heavy rain since last night. It has been continuing. It's still continuing. When will this end? When will the rain stop?
Possibly it is a slow-moving storm rather than a windy storm. So right now it is stationed very close to north of Chennai. So because of that, the dense western bands is continuously falling over Chennai. Maybe by tonight, by going into the evening and tonight, the rains will drop a bit. And once it crosses, the cyclone moves up towards the Nellore latitude, we might say the rain stopping completely.
We were told that it will be Chennai, Kanchipuram, Tiruvallur and Chengalpet that will be the most impacted due to the cyclone. Amongst these districts, which is the worst affected, or are they all equally impacted?
We cannot differentiate by administrative boundaries. So all the districts, particularly Tiruvallur, Chennai and even Chengalpet, parts of Tambramadal are being affected badly. So even the rainfall spread, if you see, even in Perungudi in Chennai, it has recorded the last 24 hours, 29 centimeters. In Tiruvallur, 28 centimeters in Avadi. In Chengalpet, in Mahabalipuram, it is recorded 22 centimeters. So the 200 mm event is also equally spread. So at the same point of time, it has rained 200 mm across the Chennai, 3 to 4 districts. So that is what we are saying. So we cannot differentiate one district is completely affected, another district. Whatever rains, it rains in Chengalpet or Tiruvallur, the water has to come to Chennai only. That is what we are seeing the elevated flow in the rivers.
Seeing the situation on ground, many people say the stormwater drains have failed. But given the kind of rainfall Chennai has received, do you think any city will be able to withstand that kind of, the kind of dumping of rains?
For the past 36 hours, or we can say 30 hours, we have got almost 350 to 400 mm of rainfall. I don't think any city in the world will be able to manage such kind of rainfall. And whenever the river is flowing in an elevated level, and we have a cyclone which is parked just outside the Chennai seas, so without moving much. So you see the rough seas, the water will not be able to be dispersed easily by the river. So we see this impedance with all the backflow which happens. That is, it doesn't make sense even the stormwater drain for whatever rainfall you want to construct. Once the river is going up a little bit high, automatically these kind of stagnations will happen. Once the river level recedes, then automatically the water will drain off.
So you're saying by tonight we can expect the rains to recede, or worst case scenario by early morning tomorrow?
Yes, maybe Chennai, Chengalpet a little bit by evening, and little bit north Chennai and all by Monday night. Tiruvallur maybe late nights.
And one last question. Tomorrow is when the landfall is expected between the South Andhra Pradesh coast, between Nellore and Machilipatnam. When the landfall happens, we know there's massive winds and there's a lot of rain as well. Will that impact Chennai once again, or that is for Andhra?
No. Once it goes up beyond Nellore latitude, we feel that the bands which are tightly wrapped, because it's intensified into a severe cyclonic storm. So once it intensifies, automatically the bands will be tightly wrapped up behind the center. So once it moves up, automatically we can see that the impact of rainfall will be reduced in the North Tamil Nadu.
So that, of course, is what experts are telling. This is also what the IMD has predicted, that the weather, the rains, of course, will start to recede from midnight, and worst case scenario, it could continue till early morning tomorrow. And that is when the Chennai Corporation hopes to swing into action, because at this point in time, it is nearly impossible for them to drain out water, because as they drain out, more water is coming in the form of rainfall. So that is something that's extremely difficult for them at this point in time. So they're hoping for the rains to subside, and that is when they'll be swinging into action to drain out water from the streets of Chennai.
Authorities are in fact bracing up for the worst in the city of Chennai and surrounding areas, where rainfall has only intensified, and the cyclone is expected to make a landfall tomorrow at noon in Andhra Pradesh. Before that, expected to intensify around 4 p.m. this evening. I'm going to thank you, Shilpa, for getting us up to speed with that. Our focus continues to be on Cyclone Michaung. It's caused devastation in several parts of Chennai city and many other areas. As you can see in these pictures, roads have been completely waterlogged. Cars seen floating, many of them even trying to wade through water, and the situation in fact continues to be rather grim in this particular area. That's it from me for the moment. News continues on the other side. Thanks for watching.